Hello, my young scholars. Today we are going to continue our conversation with genres. So, in class, we talked about the word genre and what it means. It's a French word which means the type or category or sort of thing. So, it's a particular type, sort, or category. We have been talking about the two main genres, which is fiction, not real, nonfiction. It's real, true stories, true events. As we move along this PowerPoint slide, we will be talking about genres. We have fiction, nonfiction, and poetry. This PowerPoint is going to focus on fiction, and we're going to talk about the subgenres of fiction. So the three categories in genres are fiction, which is not real, nonfiction, which is real, and then we have poetry, rhythm, rhyme, or style. So here are the fiction genres, okay? So we know that fiction is one of the major two genres, but now we're going to look at the subgenres of fiction. And remember, fiction is not real, it's made up. So we have realistic fiction, we have mystery, fantasy, historical fiction, traditional literature, and science fiction. So we're going to talk about realistic fiction. So realistic fiction is a story that is made up. It could happen in real life, in present day, and the topics are basically friendships, relationships, family, struggles, schools, pets. So we have two books here, Strong to the Hoop and Better Than You. These are classified as realistic fiction because the story is made up, but this can really happen in real life. We also have mysteries. So mysteries are suspenseful stories, they're mysterious events, and mystery usually solves at the end. So at the end of the book, you usually solve the mystery, and the book is super exciting. And some of you may have mystery books in your libraries that you enjoy reading. So this is another fiction genre. We also have fantasy. So fantasy is imaginary. The elements that are impossible, such as talking animals. Can animals really talk? Absolutely not. Magical powers. In the real world where we live, does anyone have magical powers to make the sun shine every day and there's no snow or no cold weather? Absolutely not. This genre under fiction is fantasy. We have historical fiction. Now, historical fiction takes place in a period in the past. The setting is real, and the characters are made up. So, a historical fiction book, the setting will always be something real. For instance, some of you have read I Survived the 911, I Survived series. And one of them are I Survived 911, I Survived Titanic, I Survived, and so on. It's a list of series there. Now, in those books, the events that actually happened, the setting, it really happened, it took place. However, the characters and the stories are made up. So that is what we consider historical fiction under fiction. We also have traditional literature. So you guys have been exposed to these traditional literatures ever since you probably started being read to when you were little babies. So the stories passes down from one group to another, and the they involve folk tales, legends, fairy tales, tall tales, myths. They're most of the time they're told orally, just like The Boy Who Cried Wolf, Cinderella stories, Snow White stories. And then we have science fiction. So science fiction is a type of fantasy. It involves technology, computers, robots, time machine. Science fiction is under fiction genre, and if you would notice, when you read or have read a science fiction book or novel or even article, you will notice that the technology is always a technology that has not been it doesn't exist in real life. It's futuristic. It's way in the future. I like to use the Jetsons. It's a cartoon, and I like to use the Jetsons as an example, where there's a family who were born in the future, and all the technology is future forward.